of it goes. I don't know where those recordings go.
Oh, well, I'll show you after. It's like,
Okay, great.
it's what do you call it? It's all in the, like, in our history here, and it's also on the social. So like we can get those at any time.
Okay, cool. Got it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. How's
The
that
first
for a new
intro ever.
Yeah. I just figure we need one now. It's time.
It's time for an intro? You think
Yeah,
we've
it's time.
graduated to having an intro?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
And
okay, I
I'm
like it.
too lazy and cheap to pay for it or look for it. Have you ever looked for, I'm going to hide this until people actually say something because it's on my
Gotcha.
face.
Got you.
Cover up this.
My bad.
It's okay. Or we just switch the order and we cover your face.
Cover my face?
Yeah.
We
That's
don't
right.
need it. I don't care if it's there.
What was I going to say? Have you ever looked for music for something? For like something?
You mean like to put as a background to a visual thing?
No, like your YouTube channel, right? Or like, so I did this short-lived podcast when I did the event. When I did the Find a Dev Day event, I had a companion podcast. I think I published like 8 episodes or something like that. You were on it. You remember this?
Yeah.
And so I had to I had to make it. I had to do a podcast, right? Which means like you need music and you need kind of transitional music and stuff like that. It took me weeks of like hunting through it. It is the most annoying process in the world to find music that kind of suits the vibe of what you're trying to.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, like the overlay. No, I don't think I've ever tried to do that.
You shouldn't.
I have.
It's annoying.
I have actually. No, I have, but it was so mismatched. I did like the first one that I found, and it was just like it was like carnival music or some shit. It sounded so bad. I'm like, all right, well that's good enough.
Yeah, well, I'm an overdoer, so I spent weeks. So that's why we're not going to make this professional, you guys. Anyone who's watching, because I'll not do any work and I won't like wash my hair or take a shower. I'll just do that thing. Yeah. Or floss my. Oh, I have an update, by the way. I started flossing my teeth.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's right.
We talked about it
the last time.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I hate flossing my teeth, blah, blah. And then I was feeling shame. And then I had like a weird like tooth thing. I was like, that kind of hurt. Oh, and so I was like, I'm old enough now. I should start doing that. Anyway, I still only do it like
you put it out there into the world and made a positive change in your life, huh?
Okay, so everybody who thought Kelly's gross because she doesn't floss her teeth, you stand corrected. I am very clean, especially between all those guys. Yeah,
excellent oral hygiene.
Yeah, here's the reason. I will tell you why. When I was a child, I had so many teeth. Like I had the normal number of teeth, but I have a small mouth. And so they just imagine like a group of people in a very small elevator and they're like hanging out the front because they can't squish in. That was my mouth.
Okay.
I had just teeth everywhere. And my dentist was like, too many, Kelly. And so I think they pulled like 6 teeth or something like that. It can't be 6.
Wait, what?
I'm not joking. I have fewer teeth than most people have because they just pulled them out because they were just like, this is.
Did you actually have more teeth than the average human should? Or
no, but I have a smaller jaw and I have big teeth. Look at those things. They're big. I have big teeth and a small jaw, and they were just overwhelming my mouth. And so
and the dentist was like, we have to pull these out because you have too many. Wow.
Yeah. And then I had braces for 4 years. I had braces 4 years. 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard that one before.
Oh, and I lost my retainer and they all just kind of went crooked again. So anyway, so that was our banter.
BubbleCon.
Bubble Tour. It's Bubble Tour. We have to be specific and correct about it.
I miss everything. I know nothing about what happened.
Okay.
The only thing that I heard was the high level headline of like Bubble partnering with Anthropic. I know there's a hackathon of some sort, but I'm largely out of the loop as to what they announced and like what the experience was like being there. So
yeah,
I'm all ears. I want to hear it.
Okay, I'll give you the rundown. So first of all, there were 2 events, one in Paris and one in London. And because I live in Barcelona, it is very easy for me to get to Paris and London. You just hop on a 2-hour flight. It's very nice. And so I went to both. Partly, I was only going to go to London because like Paris is very expensive. And I don't know, just not that. How shitty is it? It's not that interesting.
Oh wow!
Okay. It's not that interesting.
Going shade of Paris right out of the gate.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I've done it wrong, but like we've been several times, and I'm always like, why? But then at the same time, I'm like, I belong here. I can't square it in my head. Somehow I love it, and also I'm very bored while I'm there. And we have never stayed in like our lodgings in Paris have always been just absolutely shitty. Like they're tiny. It's like staying in New York, it's like tiny, uncomfortable. Somehow the sheets are never like new. You know what I mean? You're always going to have like old mismatched sheets and like the pillows all lumpy.
I've only ever stayed in hostels in Paris.
Okay.
And the hostels were like pretty clean. I would say like they're of the better hostels that I've been to. That's all I've ever been.
Yeah. We thought we were staying in a hostel. And we stayed, it was a shitty hotel. That's what it was. We were like, hostel, great, solo room in a hostel or whatever, like private room. And I like hostels. Like I lived in hostels for like 6 years straight. I love a good hostel. Yeah. And so I was excited to be back in Jeremy's like bougie and he wants to stay in like our own place, whatever, but we're trying to save money. So we thought it was a hostel and it was just a shitty hotel that was like, the room was like kind of wet. You know what I mean? It's just like a little bit damp.
I know exactly what you mean. I think if you've ever stayed in a hostel, you know what that means. Everything just feels damp. Why? Everything. Why is everything damp?
I don't know. But like, I was like, why don't I have flip-flops? I do bring slippers always. I bring like slippers and so that I don't have to touch the floor anywhere. I have a bit of a germ thing. But I always forget about showers. You need flip-flops in the shower or some kind of like rubber shoes. Anyway, I didn't do that. So I just felt gross the whole time. So that was Paris. That was one aspect of Paris. Then I went to the thing. I went because Clem was talking. She was presenting an app and Clem is a friend of mine and she's a Bubble developer. And she's new. She's been bubbling for a while, but she's new as a freelancer. And I just want to go support her and see her.
She's been on here. She was on here before, like the other week. She was in the chat.
Yeah. She's wonderful, and she's French. And so everything at the Paris Bubble Tour was in French, and it was great. It was they translated everything. It was really well done. It was just a half day. It was like a 3-hour event. It was short, right? It wasn't like BubbleCon last year and the year before where it's like a big thing, just one room, everybody sits in the room, you listen to some people talk and then you have drinks.
Okay, so it wasn't as like structured as like the way BubbleCon has been in the past. It was kind of just like almost like a big meetup.
Kind of. It was structured. Like there was a stage and everyone sat and there was an agenda, but nobody was like going to sessions. There wasn't anything but what was happening on the stage, which is, fine. It wasn't billed as a conference, right? Yeah. And it was like $40 to attend. So, you weren't expecting it to like learn a bunch of stuff. It was kind of like an opportunity I think of things like this as a way to just like meet other people who do what I do. Right. It's not about what's on the stage. Like you kind of give a shit. Right. I want to like hang out in the lobby and, talk to people. So it was really interesting because in France, there's a big bubble community, lots of bubblers, and they kind of keep to themselves. And they speak French and this is the French contingent. Right. And then there's like there's the Brazilian contingent, and they all do their own thing in Portuguese. And then there's like the rest of us, and those are the ones I know, right? And so being in Paris, like when I went to BubbleCon the last 2 years, like I felt like I knew like everybody in the room, you know. And then I went to the Paris one, and I was like, I know 5 people, you know.
Okay.
It was just a different kind of vibe, but it was still cool. Like I met several people there. It was nice. It was really nice. Pedro was there. Pedro, who is Brazilian educator, Bubble educator, and yeah, several people. It was great.
So I assume that like the what they did in London was the same as in Paris. It was just like the same exact thing in 2 different places.
Kind of. So there was a couple differences. I mean, one, the program was in French and it was in English in London, whatever. But there were different demos. Like the second half or the last bit of it was like 3 people would give some kind of talk about something that they built or some aspect of building, and then they would demo an app. And so there were different demos in Paris than they were in London.
Okay.
Which is cool. You got to see, 6 different things that people had built. And then in London, they did the Anthropic announcement, which they had not done in Paris.
Oh.
So that, for anyone who cares, is like a partnership of some sort with Anthropic that's like a hackathon. So if you build an app with the Bubble AI Builder, and then you use Bubble also announced their AI chatbot to help you build as you build your app. So we can talk about that too. But the hackathon is if you build an app with the AI Builder and you use the AI chatbot, I believe that's a part of it, and you incorporate AI using Anthropic's API, then you can submit your app to participate in this hackathon. And there's like $25,000, I think, in prizes across several different people who can win.
Did you get to try the AI agent that they built?
They had a booth where you could try it, and I was just socializing. So no, I didn't.
Gotcha. I couldn't
but I will.
do it. Like I got the email that that it's in beta, but it's only for people who built the app originally with AI. And I'm like, I didn't do that. So I don't see it anywhere.
So yeah, you have to build the app first with AI. And the reason that they will incorporate it into everyone else's experience. But the reason that they did it that way is because existing, like your app that you work on every day, is big. It's going to be really big. There's lots of stuff going on. And the AI agent needs to understand your app. So they know it won't. This was my understanding of how they explain this. It's in beta, right? And so if you open it up in your app and you're an advanced builder and it's trying to understand your app and it's not quite there yet, then you're going to be like, what a piece of shit. Everyone, this thing sucks, right? And so they want to start it on smaller apps to help, I don't think train is the right word, but to help improve it on smaller things before it can grow to understand a bigger app.
I think that's smart. I think that is smart
because
that is exactly what I would say, and I'd be terrified that it's going to change something that I lose control of. So I think that's I think that was the right call.
I think it's definitely the right call. Also, like I just would not use it on a big app that has users and whatever. I just wouldn't try it until I was like, this is going to be excellent, and I don't know if I'll ever get to that place.
Well, what I'd love is if I can English prompt something that I'm trying to do, and it's like, it gives you like the suggested workflows that it's going to change, and I can check each one, and I'm like, oh yeah, good.
That's apparently what they're planning to do. There's not like a, okay, we did it. Like other.
Almost like the way that the merge works. Like when you merge, it has all those conflicting change. Like it'll tell you if the changes are conflicting.
Oh wait, there you are. Sorry, I missed you. What did you say?
Did I cut out? Because I don't
One
know
of
how
us
strong
did.
my internet connection is.
Yeah.
All right. If it keeps happening, let me know because I'm going to switch over to a different Wi-Fi. Okay. I was saying that like in the merge process, like it'll give you like the conflicting changes, right? And you can kind of like check on which one. Like that's what I'd love to see. Like that would like ease a lot of my concerns about whether AI is just going to take over my app and screw things up.
Yeah. I think that's their plan. I think they are aware that it could just break shit. You can also undo. You can just be like, oh, that wasn't what I wanted, and undo it. Right now, the AI is only UI elements. So you can say, like, build me an onboarding form. It's not going to build the logic. It's not going to do the data type stuff they have separately, but it's just building UI elements.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
And I mean, like, that's harder to, or it's easier to not screw up an app by just like adding a form. You can just look at the form and then go delete, you know, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't even care about like building a completely new UI component by doing AI. Like, do it for me. I don't want to do this anyway. Like, I'm good with that. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because like your hi Wilder.
Lager.
Lager?
He said, can I join?
What do you mean? You're here. You're here, man.
You're here. We see you.
Yeah. What I was gonna say was I lost my train of thought. It was about the AI thing. Oh, here's my thing. Okay, here's my thing. When I think about using AI, I'm like, yeah, cool. It's good that I am on board with them doing this now. And I'm happy to talk about that. But I want to just say before I kind of move to that, is that like every time you use AI to build something that you could just copy and paste from somewhere else in your app or pull from the components library, it's like, why? Why are you spending the Earth's energy doing that thing? And when you could just like copy and paste, it costs it costs something in terms of energy, right? But I don't know. I just feel like I'm trying to square how much we are using AI right now and how like expensive it is for the environment and for, I don't know. It just feels like we don't need to use AI at every opportunity that we use it.
Oh my God. Okay, so I have a perfect example of this. I did the first OpenAI integration on the app, right? We've got this cool new like thing where it helps you find your values, right? Like, what are your top 2 values? And we're using ChatGPT with a bunch of instructions and guardrails in order to guide them to what drives them in life. So like I did that. I started doing that integration, and I'm like, let me see how this works. Like, I know how to connect to an API. I don't exactly know how OpenAI's, what they need, the parameters that I need to pass and all that. But let me try doing this with ChatGPT. Let me just see, like, what instructions does it give me? How specific does it get? Like, what are the things? Like, is it able to debug? And my God, was I frustrated with what I was doing. I realized, like, okay, I can't rely on this to think for me, right? Like, and I think, that may seem obvious, but I think that's how
I don't think it's obvious at all.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I'm like, let me just rely on this thing to do my logical thinking for me as I'm going through this dev process that I've never done before. Right? I've never done an OpenAI integration in my app yet. So, and I was so mad and frustrated that I almost like just said, fuck the OpenAI integration altogether. And then I was like, no, wait, I'm not thinking right now. I'm not using my brain. I'm just relying on this machine to tell me what I need to do.
Yeah.
And once I flip that and I'm just like, all right, well, this isn't working. Give me 3 possibilities for why this is doing blah, blah, blah. And I took back control of the process. The experience became like way
better. Yeah.
So I imagine that this is what people who don't code are experiencing in that AI prompt hell that they get into, where it's like they have no recourse for any other way to do this other than AI tell me what to do, right? And that's why, like we're not at a point yet where that, like, you can just outsource your thinking in that way. So,
well, and what a sad world if we ever get to that point, honestly. Like, do I really want to be, then I'm the robot just saying, build the thing, and the robot gets to have all the fun. I want to have fun building stuff. That's why I do the job that I do, right? It's kind of, I want to build stuff. I don't want to. Also, okay, so I was using an AI like app, but I was testing out one of these new platforms. I won't say which it is at this point. I was impressed with it. I was very impressed with it, but I also was like, not ready yet. right? Like it made me really grateful for what Bubble allows me to see and do in an app and the control that I have. So, but it was fascinating to use this thing. And one of the things that I noticed was like, there's just a lot of sitting around waiting. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
type in a prompt and then it's like thinking, doing, and I was like, it's fucking boring. I'm bored.
I've
It's
heard this.
cool, but yeah. Oh, hey, Teo.
George says
George.
Kelly tries. He just blew you up. Wait, why are you trying to keep that a secret though?
I don't know, because like, I mean, it's still in super early beta, and like, I don't want to. I think it's very impressive, and I don't think it's a replacement for anything yet. And so, like, I'm really impressed with what they've done, and
Got it.
I want to see like the next iteration of it. But it's, yeah, I don't want to. It's kind of like what we were talking about with the chatbot. Like, you don't want to push it. You don't want to put it on blast when it's still in beta. This is what drives me crazy about people talking about the mobile editor in Bubble. Everyone's like, God, Bubble, you don't have this and that yet, and you know, and I'm like, it's in beta. Or they're like, my clients are pissed because, you know, it's buggy, and I'm like, right, because it's in beta. It like you shouldn't be building for clients on this yet, unless it's like the most basic thing in the world, right?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. That's my 2 cents on that.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I won't pull George's comment up to the screen then, right? No problem.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but okay, are we still on Bubble Tour? Going back to that?
Well, I think I got the main idea of it. Was there anything that? Well, oh wait, George got a good picture of you that just looked like you were grilling the new VP product, which made me laugh. What was that conversation?
What a photo, George. What a photo. I think I might make that my new profile photo and everything. So yeah, his name's Brian, and he was literally just hired, and it was like, and they flew him to London. They're like,
wait, can I tell you what I think was happening? And you
okay, tell me.
Happening? You like went up to him, didn't even introduce yourself, and was just like, we got to change this, just like straight Kelly style. And then he's like, who are you?
Who are you? No, I didn't do that. Listen, I am charming in person. You don't know. I ease in, and then I just like, no. I had met him hours earlier. There was like a little meet and greet before, and I was like, hello, I'm Kelly. Very nice to meet you. And he was like, tell me about yourself. And I was like, you don't know me? I was just kidding. I didn't say that. Okay. But I did introduce myself as someone who complains. I was like, I just complain a lot, so get ready. But it was funny because like, so then there was a lunch, kind of stand-up lunch where you can mingle, and it was with a bunch of agency owners and folks like me who were involved in the community. And this poor guy did not eat a bite of food all day because everyone was just like, okay, blah, 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 blah. You need to do this and this and this. And I mean, I was a small part of it, but like, you know, it wasn't just me. I think people have a lot of like pent up kind of energy desires that they, you know, they want to be incorporated into Bubble or fixed or whatever. And he was just like the receptacle for that. And, you know, but he was really, I mean, who can say what will happen? I don't know him, but he seemed great. He was like taking notes the whole time, and like asking questions. He was trying to clarify things that we were talking about. So I feel like, yeah. Now that picture was from the after party. So at that point, I mean, there had been many glasses of wine. Okay. So yeah. So where that came from actually is Tatiana, who's marketing lead at Bubble. She and I were, oh my God, it's kind of a long story, but basically I bet Emmanuel that he wouldn't make it to his 5:45 a.m. train because wine. And it was like, I don't know, 11:30. And I was like, you're not making that train. He was like, I'm making the train. And he's like, if you miss the train, I get something. And so, Tatiana was like, what do you want, Kelly? And I was like, I want 10 pixels on minimum height on groups. Okay. That's what I want on new groups.
That's your top thing of your big list?
Absolutely. 100%. Because how many groups are on the page every day?
Okay.
So many. And every time you have to change the minimum. It's a nightmare. Anyway, I will scream about that until it's fixed. I will scream about that. So that's what I wanted. And Tatiana went around the room and asked everybody, how many pixels? How many pixels? And we all settled on 16. Okay. Which I'm fine with. 16 pixels, because most things are more than 16 pixels or 16 pixels, right? So that'll work. Anyway, so I was explaining to him why this is necessary. I was like, because he doesn't know about, I don't think he's built a couple things to, to test out the platform or whatever, but I don't know if he had any idea of what we were talking about. And so I was explaining it to him, and I was very animated about it. And
okay. So that's where the conversation, that picture
that was about 16 pixels. Yeah.
It looks a lot worse than it was. We're talking about 16 pixels here.
It probably was that bad, but
that poor bastard.
I know. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it was fun. It was great to meet him, and seems like a cool vibe, cool guy. He's got his work cut out for him with the community. Oh, also, this wasn't announced at BubbleCon. Well, or it kind of was, sort of. But Emmanuel is doing an AMA, like a monthly AMA, where you can just show up and ask Emmanuel your questions, which I'm very excited about this. I think that's great. I mean, like I was saying, I think we as the community, it's so funny. I can't tell you how many times I've asked or heard someone ask the Bubble team, where should we be putting our feedback? Tell us what's the best medium. There's the forums, there's the idea board, there's the support chatbot, whatever. And they always just go put it anywhere, we'll get it. And I just think that's not a useful answer. Clearly people want one channel where they know they will be heard. That's why it keeps coming up in all these different forums. So anyway, I think the AMA is a great place to be heard by the guy who makes decisions.
And how does that happen? Is that on I assume it's like a live stream, almost like this, where he's just taking people's questions?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
I know. I think it should be good. I don't know if it's moderated. I don't think so. I think it's just him looking at a list of questions and from the chat. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I know Fede was sourcing some questions from different WhatsApp groups and stuff. So I think he'll have some pre-prepped questions, but I think you can also show up and ask your questions. I'm getting my questions in. So that's today, by the way.
Oh, that's starting today?
It starts today. Yeah. Yeah. You can just go to Bubble's Twitter and find the link.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I have a hot take for you, Kelly. I know you're going to hate this. Oh, well, first off, is there anything else about the Bubble tour that?
No, other than I just really appreciate that they do events. I know those events are expensive and they don't make any money. But I think they're really, really good for the community. And I think they're good for it's interesting. I don't care about AI, Bubble AI, but being in the room and being able to listen to their take on it in that kind of environment, and then ask questions directly to, you know what I mean? When do you get to talk to the CEO of the company for the thing that you use every day? You don't really get to do that. And I think it's great that they're making themselves available in a place like that for people who can get there. Right. So I hope they keep doing events like this. I think they're great. Yep.
All right. I have a strong feeling that you're going to completely disagree with this take, and that's exactly why I want to say it.
Okay.
I don't want newsletters anymore. No more newsletters.
Okay. Tell me more.
All newsletters. No more. All right. Why do I feel this way? Well. Okay. Just how do you feel about that?
So I think we actually have a misunderstanding, because I don't actually read newsletters, but I read a few. I do read Justin's, and I read Lenny's for a while, and there are some that I'm okay, I'm going to read those, but I sign up for them and then I don't read them. But I like to know they're there. It's like kind of your like old college friend. Yeah.
This is what I want to understand. What is it about these newsletters that people think are compelling? What makes you think that I'm going to read a long ass newsletter once a week for every product that I sign up for? Like,
product newsletters. No.
But I'm saying like anyone that automatically signs you up for a newsletter. Like, why do we think that this is an effective way to communicate to people if everybody is doing this?
Yeah.
How can you possibly like stand out?
Because it's not for everybody. So here's the thing: is if you don't own your list, that's what email is. That's the benefit of email, is that you own that list. People have opted in, and you get to communicate with them because they have said, I want to communicate with you. They shouldn't be adding you automatically. Now, if Twitter goes down tomorrow, I lose everyone on Twitter. I have no way to communicate with them. Anyone who like follows me on Twitter, no way to communicate with them unless I have them in some other medium, right? So I might also, know them on the Bubble forum, or maybe we're connected on LinkedIn or whatever. But like, then LinkedIn goes down. I still don't have access. I don't have them. So email is a way that I own that relationship. And that's why companies do it, and why individuals who have great content, that's why they do email.
But you don't have to send people shit if you have their email. Like, just don't send them, or just maybe it's also the frequency of it that I hate. It's like every week I have to
Jeremy sends one every day,
dude, and like, okay. I'd love to hear the perspective on this, because I can't imagine even reading anything more than bi-weekly. I'd love to hear. It's got to be so relevant to me, and I don't think that I don't think that there's anything that I care that much about that I'm going to read something about it every single day. So I'd love to hear his perspective on this, and because I'm sure he knows all his click rates and open rates and how much time people are spending on that. But God damn, every day,
every day,
a lot.
It's a nurture sequence. They're short. They're like pretty short, and it's just like one little thought. Okay, I think he probably took that from. Do you know Seth Godin? Do you know who that is?
The name is familiar, but I don't really know.
Okay, so Seth Godin is like an OG marketing guy, and he sent a daily email, and it could be like one sentence, and it was always brilliant. He's just brilliant. Or is like a little short thing. He never wrote these big, long things. And it was just a way to, I think, stay top of mind and be like the expert in your inbox about that thing. Right now, like everybody does it now. So your Seth Godin's thing's going to get lost in your inbox, just like Jeremy's thing's going to get lost in your inbox. Right. But I think the idea is that it keeps you in front of people. Everybody checks their email most days.
I like that. I like that answer. I would say I want it to be one sentence exactly, like no more than a sentence. And I want it to not be every day. Like, I need it to be like at a minimum, like once a week, or if it's a sentence, like, I don't want to read any more than that. Put your idea in like 20 words and then say that to me. Like, I'm good with that. I'll read that. But
okay.
Like, dude, I don't know why I'm telling you. Because
no, I'm glad you're saying that, because what's so funny is I've been thinking about starting an email newsletter. To talk to you about. I was like, what would John want to hear from me? And nothing is the answer. Nothing.
One sentence.
Nothing. Yeah. Cool.
I'm not speaking, like, I'm speaking for John right now. This is how John processes information. I like everything short. Give me the freaking bullet points. I don't need to read a long ass newsletter. So that's actually, as passionate as I'm talking about this now, I like Justin's thing, because he gives me like the headlines of his thing. And if I don't like any of those articles, I don't have to read
it.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's to me, that's a well-structured thing. At the same time, I don't need it every week, because it gives me like the anxiety of like, oh, well, all the shit that I'm missing out on because I'm too lazy to read it.
I have none of that. None of it.
I've got the FOMO, because now I'm like, oh, I should be reading that thing.
No. What I like is that like for example, Justin's. I've been on Justin's email newsletter for a long time, and I like pop in sometimes. I'm like, what's Justin saying? And then I'll read like 3 or 4 articles, and then and then ignore it, right? I don't like religiously read anything, but I think that where there's a gap, right, between how you're viewing it and how I think people actually enjoy consuming stuff like that, is that it's someone who you appreciate and like want to know what they think, and you wish like you could have a call with them and like ask them questions and hang out and like just talk about, have a glass of wine or whatever. It's like a way to get that, right? Mm-hmm. When you can't get that. And so I don't think like the idea is you sign up for every newsletter and then you read every newsletter. That would be your whole life, right? It's like you just read the like 2 or 3 who are people that you actually do want to get their perspective on stuff.
Okay. So if that's true, then you're saying that you kind of like, or like maybe you don't have a personal relationship with them, but you're like, oh, they've said something like really that hit home for me in the past. Yeah. And now I'm like interested in what they think. That's how you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. This is very different. This is a very different way of thinking for me.
It can't be like a checklist of like, okay, I read all the emails today.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have to do the thing where, well, you've opened my mind a little bit, but the like I thought of like, are these takes good or bad? They're all probably going to be stupid.
Nah.
But like, I don't know.
I think it's a good take. No, I think it's a totally fair take. And I think it's worth asking, is it a good take or a bad take? But like, I think what you're saying is right 99% of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think most people are annoyed by email. No, you're not crazy. No, you're very smart.
All right, so that's my take for the week. Cool. I've got more. I kind of like this, Kelly. I think we should like do take. I feel like you have a lot. And like I think you just don't want to say them, but like I think there's a lot.
I probably have a lot. I sent you that list. Hot take: automation is more work than it's worth. I hate automating things, everybody. Yeah, that's my hot take. Okay, yeah, here's my hot take. I have set up several automations in my life with like Zapier or whatever. And my friend Jeremy Redmond, who runs Task Magic, I got like a lifetime deal at Task Magic, so I use it for all my automations. It's similar to Zapier and all these tools. Anyway, it's always breaking. Not his, I mean, in any tool I've used, because I suck at it and I forget that it's running. And then stuff is just happening. And then debugging it for some reason is just weird to me. Like always debugging these things. I hate debugging automations. And I won't build one that's like sort of a daisy chain automation, because I'm like, it's going to break somewhere in there, and then like it all relies on each other, and I'm going to spend, I swear to God, I just spend so much time debugging automations. And I have one right now. Okay, here's my one active automation. Someone books a coaching through Bubble's coaching page.
Okay.
It adds them to my Bento email system, adds all their information, whatever. It sends them a welcome email if it's their first coaching. And it's like, hey, I'm Kelly. Thanks for booking with me. Here's how this works, blah, 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 blah. Right? Then it creates a folder on Google Drive. It does all this stuff. It took me days to set it up for some reason. I just am a dummy on this stuff. Anyway, somehow it is sending them these emails from the wrong email address. And I cannot find from like Kelly at blah, blah, blah instead of my real email address. And so people are trying to respond to it, and it goes
it goes to the wrong email.
It goes to the wrong email, and I never get it. And I swear to God, this has been going on for like months, and I keep trying to fix it, and I'm like, God, I should just press stop on this whole automation because it's clearly not working, and I could just not send the email, and I could just create the Google Drive folder on my own. I could just do it manually.
Yeah. Okay. So how much time, like, did you set it up originally for like a personalized experience, or because it was going to take you it's going to save you some time?
The reason why is because when I do bubble coachings, I have to do all those things. I don't need to send them a welcome email. They get something from Bubble, but I need to set up a Google Drive folder. I need to, after the session, rename the recording, upload it to that folder, send them an email saying that's another part of the automation. It's like a 10-step thing, right? And so I always hate doing that shit. And so I wouldn't do it. And it would be like 2 weeks later, I haven't sent the recording. I haven't like clicked that I did the session so that I actually get paid for it. It's now, and hi Teo. Teo just emailed me yesterday and said they're changing the coaching. They're like upgrading it. And so I'm very, very happy about that. I don't know if it's going to do any of the stuff that I automated, but basically I automated the stuff I hate to do, which I think is the value of automation. But if I can't get it to work and I'm constantly, it's breaking and I have to debug it, then like now it's just a new problem.
Yeah. And then you're just like managing that. Yeah. I mean, so I think I'm trying to think of like an example of when I've done this. The only automation I think that really worked for me as far as like a workflow goes, like something that I do that's annoying and I'm trying to take that out of my day-to-day, was like the emails, like an inbound email comes from an RFP system, and then that creates something in the database so that I can look at it in a way that's not like searching through 1,000 emails. That did save me time, and like the automation never broke. But I think that how do I think of this? So like, but I'm definitely much more, and I think I have to change this. I'm definitely much more like, I'll just struggle through it. And, like before I think to automate something, I'll be like, how bad does this really suck? Like, is it this much of a problem for me that I want to spend the time to automate it? Or like, like it actually plays into one of the articles I want to talk about. Like, how big of a pain point is this really? Is it cool to set up an automation? Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like, the pain point has to be huge for me to even start thinking about how do I cut this out of my thing completely. And then you just start questioning, like, wait, why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this?
I mean, yeah, like you're not giving up coaching, but like you're not also, maybe you just don't have to send an email, a welcome email. You know what I mean? That's when you start like the balancing act in your head, right? It's like, maybe I just don't need an email at all.
It also, like, I was looking at it like, okay, the pain point for me is after the coaching, the whole like uploading the recording, sending them the email with the recording. And then when I got into building that part of it, I was like, oh, I can build this other thing. Blah, blah, blah. I just made it bigger than it needs to be, which is my tendency. And so, and I just don't know how to rein that in. It's really hard for me to simplify. And so I think it's just sort of it's like Pandora's box, right? I'm like, I'm going to create a simple automation, and then it ends up being a 10-step flow. Yeah. So
I feel like that's every developer's burden. Yeah. Like, you start and then you just can't stop. And it was like, does way more than you had intended to in the beginning. Okay. So this is what do you call it? Is this takes fuck automations is the take. Right. Like, yeah, I mean, the only thing that I would say to that is like, the pain point has to be huge for me to even start thinking about automations. It's not something I'm going to do for like something that takes me an extra 30 seconds of work. Like, I don't care. I'll just do the work.
There's a cost to it, right? Like, I have Task Magic for free for life. And so like, it doesn't cost me anything to do it. But if I were going to pay Zapier, what is it? It's like, I don't think it's cheap.
It gets expensive.
Like, so it's like, is it worth money? You know what I mean? And like, sometimes it is, right? If you make $100 an hour and you spend an hour a week doing that task, well, then if you're able to fill that hour with work, then you've made $400. That's worth the $50 a month that you, right? Sure. So yeah, but I don't know. Anyway, that's my take.
Got you. Yeah. Cool take. Seth is the bomb, says Andy. Andy, what's up?
Hi, Andy. I was just thinking about Andy. I miss Andy. He's not around much these days. He's quiet these days. I feel like there's a lot of bubblers that, like, I was talking to Montes. I don't know if you know Montes, but like Montes was like in the community for years, and then He's just kind of off now.
And I don't even know who that is.
He's great. He lives in Lithuania. But he comes to all the things. You met him at BubbleCon, I think, probably. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. What else?
You had an article? Wait, are we talking about an article?
Well, we can, but do we want to? Is there anything else on your list that you wanted to? What do you call it? I can pull up the article. It was one of the article. This seems relevant to stuff that I'm going through now. Okay. Which is why, like, I wanted to talk about it. Let me present the invite. All right. It actually seems relevant to what we were just talking about. Can you see this, Kelly?
I'm adding it. There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I think that, I've had ideas in the past and I was like, oh yeah, everyone says this is a problem. And like, I should build a problem for this and then people will pay money. I mean, I should build the solution to this and then people will pay me money for it. Right. And it's like the leap of logic from this is a problem that everybody says they have to they will pay money to solve it. There's a big gap there, you know, like, so what this thing does, where was the quote that I was trying to show here? I was watching the start now. Why we need a demand model. The goal of demand model is to predict whether a person will buy something. We can use this to determine whether a startup's product will find traction. So we always talk about pain points and problems, right? Like I always talk about this. Like, what's the pain point that you're solving for? What's the problem that you're solving for? Yeah. And like the assumption in that question is like, well, is this something that people will actually pay you to solve for them? Right. And then this is saying that like, well, there's a few steps in between. This is a problem and people will pay to kind of solve for it. So we need a predictive model for demand so that we don't waste our lives building something that solves a big problem that nobody buys. It's kind of like summed up in this one sentence here, which I love. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know how deep we want to go here, but like,
well, what's the model look like? Yeah, I'm gonna see.
It's called pull. He calls it pull. The measure of individual person's force against their status quo. So let's go down. Let's go to the pull thing here. Pull. Project on her to-do list. Stand out in order to get promoted. That's the project. Unavoidable because I feel like I deserve a promotion. This work is beneath me. List of options considered attempted. All of the process improvements I've done so far. I feel like this is probably the thing that stands out. It's like, what have they actually tried to solve? Limitations, they haven't been visible or impressive enough to make me stand out. Supply, I want something that helps me really stand out. AI is hot now. Maybe that the example. I probably didn't read enough from up here for this example to make sense, but like this is the framework that's they're the framework. Together. Yeah.
Project on her to-do list. So that's the thing that needs to be done.
Yep.
You have to do it. It's unavoidable because. Okay, so let me use a product that I've built and we'll plop it into this framework and see if it makes sense. Is that cool? Okay, so if I take Rote, my first Bubble app, which is a database of language that you have previously written for grant proposals. It would be used by a nonprofit. And then you can like find the language that you need when you're writing a new proposal, right? Because you reuse language a lot when you write grant proposals. So the project is that's on the user's to-do list is that they have to write grants every day and they have to find old language to reuse in their grants. That's a daily task if you're a grant writer. This is unavoidable because, well, it's their job. That's what they do.
Okay.
List of options considered and attempted. So the options that people typically use is two things. One is if they're sort of new to the organization, they are just reading through and constantly reading through all of these old things to get a sense of them. Second thing is that they ask their colleagues which proposals they should be using. That assumes they have colleagues. if they have replaced someone, there's not a colleague to ask, right? And then the third thing is they've just worked there for a long time and they already know which proposals to look at, right? So those are the three things. Sometimes they'll create a long document that has the useful language and they'll just pull from that, right?
Okay.
So there are, and what was the next thing?
The thing was, so it was limitations.
Limitations.
So, yeah, the limitations of, I guess that means the limitations of the current way that they're doing it.
That they're doing.
Yeah.
Takes forever. It's disorganized. If someone leaves, all that knowledge goes with them. Okay. Yep. What's the next one?
The last one is the supply.
What's that mean?
Here, I'll share it again. Stage. Supply I want. Something that helps me really stand out. AI is
I want this process to be faster.
Yeah, that's the thing that they want to change, right? So, faster, more efficient, less work to get this grant written, right? Like
can you see the force she's applying against the status quo? The status quo. Model it with the pull framework. My God, I can't read. There we go. Thank you. But what matters is the force underneath it. We don't get points for simply filling out the pull framework. We get points for the force driving the pull framework. This admin is desperately trying to get promoted. Her force could be so strong. Yeah, and that was, I think, the problem with what I had built is nonprofits in general use old software and poor systems, and so they're fine with things being kind of slow and shitty.
Right. See, okay, so that's like a big problem of mine. I think it's like I get so used to doing things slow and shitty. It's just like, what's the word? Nerd. Like you just become like so used to it, and it's like it doesn't even occur to me to really that this is a problem to solve.
Right.
So like, what would you say in Rote's situation? Like, what was what was it that people were not trying hard enough to change this thing, and that's why it wasn't like a problem that they would pay for, or
I didn't spend enough effort marketing it, so I don't know. I mean, people did pay for it, and when I talked to people, they were really excited about it. But that's not a measure of whether they'll pay for it, right?
Yeah.
So what basically happened there is I would like go to a conference and I would talk to people, and I was like working on a new whatever, and so I'd be like, it's coming out in 2 weeks. And they'd be like, let me know. And then I didn't finish the thing. And so I wouldn't reach out to them. So I failed. I failed at the marketing, right? So I don't know. I mean, and at this point now it feels like it needs AI stuff or people wouldn't want it. I don't know if that's true or not. But
here's the thing that I would say. What does Andy say here? Daughter getting married.
Andy, congratulations.
The bride ain't got no time for this.
But you're here. Or you were here anyway.
Andy.
Do you know Andy taught his daughter Bubble? I don't know if it's the same daughter. I don't know how many daughters Andy has, but he taught his daughter Bubble, and she was like doing it professionally for a while.
I remember that. Oh, she did it like she started like, oh yeah, wow.
She had clients, and yeah, I know.
Oh,
what a cool thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So like I feel like if you really hit on a real thing where it's like they'll reach out to you if they understand what you're doing. You know what I mean? They'll be like, yo, did you figure that out? Yeah, Kelly. You know what I mean? Like if it's really like they're putting so much of that force in, and again, I don't know how to measure that, but like it's not a mom test. Like the mom test, you've heard of the mom test before? Like you're asking all of these layered questions to get at the pain point, which is fine. That's a good system instead of talking about your product. But I don't know that in that model there's much by way of like, what have you really done to solve this? How much time have you really invested in fixing this for yourself? So like this to me adds another thing to think about as you're seeing if it's worth your effort to put something new out there to solve a problem that you think people have. Because dude, I can't help myself in getting in those conversations to like talking about the solution and like, just waiting for the yes, waiting for the nice yeah, that's a good idea, John. It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
It's a social skill that like you have to just be like, I can't assume, like, I can't lead them into this answer that I want. It's really difficult. Sorry, you were going to say something.
I was going to say, so last night was the last session of the Immerse program that I have been teaching for Bubble. And Josh came, Josh, the co-founder of Bubble. And he did a talk about sort of what now, right? Like now that you've built most of your MVP, like what do you do now? How do you move forward, right? And one of the things that he said, yeah, it's great. It's a really good presentation. And one of the things he said was nobody cares about your product. Nobody cares.
True,
right? And I was like, what a refreshing thing to hear from somebody. Nobody cares. And if it turns out they do, then you got something, right? But people will tell you that they care and they don't actually mean it. Traction is actually people paying money for your thing, right? So I think it's easy to get like really caught up in there's so many aspects to it. One, you think it's a problem that's worth solving. And so you're like gung-ho about it. Two is like you've put a lot of energy into trying to solve it. And now you're really like in love with that idea and the thing you've built.
The sunken cost.
Yeah. And also like you think it's cool because you built it. You feel good about yourself, right? Yeah. And like 99 times out of 100, it's a pile of turds, you know. It's not any good. But yeah, I think like I would be interested to see how the pull model looked in practice. Like, what do you do with that then? Like, okay, are they saying this is a way of measuring whether to pursue something?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's before everything, right? It's like it's kind of like built into your customer interviews for a product that you're thinking about building, right? You're testing the problem and learning more about it. Fine, but like dig into that part of it where they're really trying to solve their own problem. They're putting 10 hours a week into like to do this, and you literally reduce that to zero. Then whoa, they're gonna you don't have to follow up with that. I feel like they'll come, like if you really hit on that, they're gonna be like, yo, did you figure it out yet? Because this sucks for me. My life sucks because of this thing.
But there's another aspect to this that I don't know that this model accounts for, which is, does the person having the problem have the power to make that purchase? Right?
Oh, there you go.
Because like, I mean, I talked to so many grant writers and they were like, please give me this thing. And then it turns out, well, they don't have a budget. They're
they're kind of saying like, give it to me for free.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Or the next step is like, okay, I've sold them on the thing and now they have to sell their superiors on the thing. And, you know, maybe they're new to the job. The product I was building was useful for people who were new to the job. You're not going to go in your first week and go, hey, can I have some money for this thing that you didn't ever even know about and probably don't think that we need?
Yeah.
Can I spend some money right away? You know what I mean? So like,
and they'll be like, well, wait, what did we hire you to do?
Yeah, this is your job to learn these things. You don't need software for that. Right. So I think that's an assumption I'm making. I did get that feedback in large organizations where there was like 20 grant writers and there's just this one new girl, right? But I guess the point is like, it can be a really sharp problem and still that person who's having the problem isn't the one who, you know, can decide.
It's not the buyer or the decision. That makes sense. Makes sense. All right, Kelly, we're at the top of the hour.
Oh man. Okay.
That went fast.
Yeah. Good times. It was nice to see everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, your face, everybody else's names.
we got we're on next week, right?
Yeah, I'm on.
All right.
Even if you're not on, I'm just gonna hear and talk. I'm just gonna sit here.
I used to do that. I mean, I used to just sit here and talk and hope that someone would put something into the chat. And it gets really awkward if you just have nothing to say that day. It's harder to do on a schedule, I'd say, because it's like, wow, I don't feel like talking today. And then you're just like babbling. But
I'm doing a new thing starting, I think this week or next week. Just a little announcement. everybody, and for you, John, if you want. Brian Jagger, who is a Bubble guy who has done a lot with AI. He has like patents with AI model. I don't know, something. He's very smart, and he was the AI sort of coach for Immerse this year, and he's been a mentor in that program, and he's just a friend. And we're going to do some live streams with him, building out some AI stuff and sort of teaching me.
Cool. Wait, so you're jumping on his live stream, or how's that?
No, I mean, we're doing it together. It's kind of like this, what we're doing here. We just decided. We find that? I don't know.
I'm trying to set you up for a plug.
I know. I'll announce it on Twitter and LinkedIn once we have to figure out what it's going to look like and when it's happening and all that kind of stuff. But it's coming, and it should be fun. I think it'll be fun.
Sounds cool.
Okay, bye.
All right, later.